Thinking Aloud. Conversations on the leading edge of knowledge and discovery with psychologist Jeffrey Mishlove.
We're talking about a TV. TV has tiny little pixels. We cannot see those pixels. We see a continuity.
Right.
But of course we have frames in terms of it. We have computers where we have little bits in terms of measures that are all binary. These are all little components that are pixelated, that are quantized. And this is what finite reality is all about. And the transfinite, when we get to the top, is also pixelated and quantized. And this is all what we're talking about in terms of extension.
Well, now, my understanding, if I may interrupt for a moment, is that the quantum theory applies to matter, it applies to energy and to mass. It doesn't necessarily apply to extent or mathematics, that we can go way smaller than the Planck length mathematically if we wish to.
You're right. And this is the whole, I will not say contradiction, but conflict that one has, because for Dr. Close and myself and some other thinkers, we think that mathematics is fundamental to nature, fundamental to reality.
This was the insight of the great Greek founder of philosophy, Pythagoras.
Right. And in that context, we have the situation where when you're applying mathematics, you're applying mathematics to existence. You are applying mathematics to our experience, but it has to be focused somewhere.
Yes.
So here's an example. I mentioned to you 9 dimensions.
Yes.
And when one mentions this, others are busy saying, well, you know, we really only have 3 dimensions of space, length, breadth, and height in a moment in time, and it's all in this little box, and we call this physical reality.
Yes.
And how can you say that? Because surely you're contradicting everything that's been found in physics.
Well, mathematicians and physicists have been dealing with higher dimensions of space now, or more additional dimensions of space for over a century.
Exactly. So now, suddenly we have, first of all, this little contradiction of 3 dimensions of space in a moment in time, not contradicted because none of the laws of physics, none of the problems that have been found in that context then get contradicted by going higher in terms of dimensions.
Right.
And the search for dimensions has been a search for a long, long time. You know, you had Kaluza-Klein in terms of a 5th dimension.
Yes.
And Albert Einstein spent the last 20 years of his life looking for further dimensions.
Yes, indeed.
And when mathematicians have been searching for other dimensions, the point I was going to make was there is a difference. When mathematics is part of reality, it has to have a substance of reality. If you want, you've got your extent, but you've got your content as well. When you take string theory remains a theory. You know, 10 dimensions, 11 dimensions, 26 dimensions, whatever you want, hundreds of different string theories and superstring components. But when you start looking at it in terms of fundamental truths or fundamental proofs at that Pythagorean level, at that level of reality, that then means you have to link it with certain components. And for example, with our 9-dimensional model, we were challenged